Hello everyone, welcome back on the AgriAdventures YouTube channel. Today we have a self-drive tour in Adelaide Hills. I'm gonna meet with other participants in Adelaide, and we'll be visiting 5 different local food producers during this tour. The experience is managed from the AgriAdventures platform, and the process has been done through the platform too. So let's see how we go. Are you ready, Francis? It's gonna be another adventures, huh? Oh, AgriAdventure. You know where we're going? We're gonna visit a chocolate factory. We're gonna visit a cheese shop. We're gonna visit the orchard because it's really important to know where apples are coming from. Do you remember? Yep. And also we're gonna visit wine producer, and we're gonna have fish and chips, but sustainable. Hello everyone, so we are here at the Adelaide bus stop. We are waiting the participant for the Adelaide Hills tour today, and yep, ready to go with my little boy, and yes, we'll enjoy it. If you're curious to know, over there behind us there is the joinery, which is the center of the whole, you know, not recycling, but the whole sustainable movement here in Adelaide. Here you are, the first participant, just arrived. Enjoy.
A lot of people don't understand about storage of apples, and they think they go to a fruit and veg shop, they think it's fresh. There's no difference if you go to the supermarket, it's exactly the same fruit, there's no difference. Australia was, interestingly, probably was at one of the countries at the forefront of what we call controlled atmosphere technology for storing, which came in back in the very early 60s, late 50s. So we keep the apples cold, as in the fridge, at about 1.5 degrees, or 0.5 to probably 1.5. It just depends a little bit. Some apples like to be kept a bit warmer. Pears are kept a little bit colder. They're kept at about close to 0. And so initially that's air stored, just like your fridge. And then we have what they call controlled atmosphere, which is initially what it was they actually had gas burners in the rooms, and they'd burn off the oxygen in the room. So, and then it would get down, so you can't go in, the rooms get shut up and they're completely airtight, burn the oxygen off, and then they'd manage that and keep the carbon dioxide at a certain level, so you can't actually go in there. But the apples are one of the few fruit that's actually full of starch. So you can pick it green, and then it'll actually, the starch will convert to sugar as it ripens. It will probably start cropping in like second year, and you'll have some apples, but it probably takes like year 6 or something to get full production. Yeah. one has yeast put in it, and it sort of controls the ferment and everything.
So to make the cider, you use like late harvest apple?
Not, well, just we find pink lady's really good.
Okay. You just need the right amount of sugar.
Yeah.
Well, thanks heaps for coming up, guys. Really appreciate it. As Jeremy said before, that one of the co-owners, and Jeremy's the chef de cuisine, head chef. And yeah, first of all, this all started 2 years ago in an idea that I wanted to have sustainable seafood. People may suggest the Adelaide Hills might be a bit different for it, but I actually grew up in Stirling, so I've done a bit of a travelling and I've decided to come home. So it was kind of makes sense for me to come home and open up. The main reason was if there's like the core 5 fish around, which involve flathead, kingfish, salmon, barramundi, King George whiting, and there's always this consensus of if you don't have that fish on offer at fishmongers or fish and chip shops or wherever it may be, that people just don't eat fish. And that kind of bothered me because there's over 3,000 species of sustainable seafood in our waters alone. So for me, it was kind of like, okay, why aren't we getting these and using them on menus and fish and chip shops, and then so that's how the idea started developed, and then it kind of evolved from there and there and there.
When we say sustainability and like organic, we have already misunderstood these words because everybody is using these words just to
It's a marketing stunt.
Yeah.
So when you say sustainable, what do you mean by sustainable exactly?
Is that we do only touch the stocks of fish that are healthy. But that's not the only point. This is why it's very grey sustainability, because when we look at gummy shark, for example, the stock levels are actually pretty healthy. But when you get sharks in the environment, there's tuna. When there's tuna, there's dolphins, there's turtles. So when you catch that shark, you will have bycatch. And some fishermen don't record that bycatch. So the government thinks, oh, they've had 10 gummy sharks for sale and they didn't have any bycatch. And if somebody takes a picture of the boat, they'll see 10 turtles dying. And that is sustainable. That is not sustainable. So that is why sustainability is not only measured by stock levels, but the entire ecosystem.
It's the massive impact which
that
has
it
it on the rest
brings
of it.
with it. Rock lobsters. Just a quick example on that. Rock lobsters, right? Australia's SA rock lobsters. We all know that, right? They're crayfish. The bigger ones, they eat the sea eagles. The sea eagles eat the kelp. We are such a big fan of the big rock lobsters that now we've got too many sea eagles. So that's the whole ecosystem. We need to understand that we do not only look at stock levels. We need to understand the whole system around it.
I've grown up in Adelaide, and this is probably the best seafood I've had in Adelaide.
Thank you very much.
Expel the pellet that sits in there, the sediment, and then they would top up the wine with whatever they choose. Sometimes it would just be the same wine, and that's basically ready to go.
Yes, I wouldn't have finished like that. I know we were on the Adelaide Hills. I know you can see from my background we are not definitely on the hills anymore. But again, it's a beautiful spot and a beautiful place to finish this experience. Today was really interesting. We had the opportunity to speak about apple growing. We had the opportunity to visit our orchard and learn more about not just what's your favorite apple, but we learned that apples, they have trademarks, or that you can limit the size of growing of a tree, changing the nest that you're gonna use on it, or how you preserve the apples for a long time. You cool them down, you use some gas. So I really did that. It was a really interesting topic. But we kept going and we visit a couple shops. We visit Melba's Chocolate Factory. We've been visiting Woodside Cheese, which is one of my favorite cheese producer here in South Australia. And then we went back to speak about sustainability and food production, visiting the guys at the Angler, Stirling, and we not just had the opportunity to taste some fish and chip, well made, but also we learn about season for fishes. We learn about that not always we can have the fishes that we want, because we have to respect the natural time of these animals in the ocean, or that the amount of energy has been used to grow these fishes for us to consume. And then we end the day speaking about natural wines and sustainability, the impact of winemaking process and the whole, wine consumption, how can change the way of a business has impact on the surroundings and the community where it is. And yes, it was a really interesting day, and that's why I want to finish it with a nice, beautiful view of this sunset here in South Australia. See you again over here on the AgriAdventures YouTube channel. Have a good evening. Bye.